Cheerio, bonjour, hello. There goes Oscar. So, I just want to talk about Mike Dunn. I really didn't make any notes. I got something else going on, and it's bothering me a little bit. And I'm sitting there, I was a little bit bummed out. And I thought, you know what? I want to go talk to my YouTube family. So here we are. Hello. Hello. Okay. Mike Dunn. Oh my goodness, my glasses are filthy. And I don't even have any notes to read. But, so I'm surprised this case didn't get the national attention, similar to Chris Watts or something. Al Sharpton spoke out about it. A couple people who thrive on racism spoke out about it. Excuse me. But I don't remember it being on the cover of People magazine. And I believe I ran into it 6 or 8 months ago on YouTube. I'm going to guess I found it from JCS, Jim Can't Swim. And if you're watching me, I'm going to almost guarantee you know who JCS is. So I want to give a quick shout out to Lewis. Hey Lewis, I have to look at the timestamp. I work with Lewis. He's kind of a pain in my ass, but I am a better mail carrier because of Lewis. And there'll be times at work he's like, admit it, it's because of me. And I'm like, go fuck yourself. But he's half right. So maybe I shouldn't tell him to watch this. Okay, so November 2012, Mike Dunn attends the wedding of his oldest son, which, on an interesting side note, he had been estranged from for the previous 3 years. I've said in other videos, there's something creepy about people who don't speak to their parents. And okay, but there's sometimes that what's my girl's name? Lil Tea Time. Her mother is a narcissist. So I understand why Lil Tea Time has minimal contact with her mother. But I'm talking about celebrities. Oh, look at Prince Harry. He's all of a sudden now estranged with his family. Shannon Watts pushes that estrangement with the family. Well, what do you know? Mike Dunn was estranged. Okay, anyway. So the son finally says, okay, I'm not going to be pissed off at you, Dad. You can come to my wedding. So they go to the wedding. Mike and his fiance. They have a new puppy, and the new puppy is sitting in a crate in their hotel room. So they go to the wedding, and they spend 3 hours, and they say, oh, Charlie the puppy probably has to go pee-pee, so we better leave. So they leave, and they're driving back to the hotel, and Rhonda says, you know what, I want some white wine, so swing into a gas station. They do. There is surveillance video of this. The car directly in front of them also pulled into the same gas station. It's called a GATE, G-A-T-E, gas station. We do not have those here where I live. Outside of Washington, D.C. Joe Biden, 12 miles by the way the crow flies. Hey, Joe. The car in front of them pulls in, and he takes a right and ends up parking over on the side of the building. Mike Dunn pulls in and pulls right next to an SUV, which was the closest parking spot that the first car avoided. And in this SUV are 4 black kids. Oh, no. There are 3 black kids at this moment, and they're jamming the music. I mean, you guys remember when you were teenagers and your eardrums weren't sensitive and you're listening to music like freaking idiots. It's so loud you can't even hear it, but who cares? You have that right. They can do whatever they want. So Mike's girlfriend goes inside the store, and Mike rolls down his window, and he says to the boys, would you mind turning that down? I can't hear myself think. Okay, well, here's me at 52. I'm not a big music person. Yeah, I listen to books and stuff, so maybe my book is too loud. And if someone looked at me and said that, I would probably look at them and tell them to go fuck themselves. I don't play games. I got some drama going on at work right now. There's one girl who thinks she's the boss, and She's being a bully. And 75% of the time, most people, they do what the bully wants. Okay, I'm not that kind of person. Yeah, go fuck yourself. You don't sign my paycheck. But, so that's what he says. I can't hear myself think. So the kid in the front seat turns the radio down. The kid in the back passenger seat says, fuck you, and leans and turns the radio up. I did happen to pull up to a traffic light today, and the car next to me had Joe Biden stickers all over it. And I don't give the finger, but I did. I honked my horn and I made sure he saw it. And he rolled his window down and I said, and fuck you for voting for Joe Biden. There, I gotta stop. But anyway, Jordan Davis reaches up, turns the radio up, tells Mike Dunn to go fuck himself. And Mike Dunn says, you're not going to talk to me that way. And he says it loud enough that, you remember that first guy I pulled in the parking lot? Well, he had already gone in, bought his soda, and come out. And that dude heard it. Mike Dunn reaches in his glove box, pulls out his gun, which is holstered. And I say that because it takes an extra second. He's got to put one in the chamber, which also takes an extra second. And then he just swings right back down and starts firing. And he also uses two hands, which means that takes an extra second. So Mike Dunn claims that this guy says, I'm going to kill you. And so he went and did all that, and he came back and just started firing. Okay, but the kid, if he said that, okay, well, nothing has happened. And now 3.5 or 4 seconds has happened, and still nothing has happened. Okay, it gets worse. So the dude fires 3 bullets. Boom, boom, boom. Jordan Davis, 17 years old, dead. Dead in 45 seconds. Kid has never committed a crime. He's innocent. He has done nothing wrong. Dead. 45 seconds. Thank goodness. The dude in the front seat, in the driver's seat, was aware and just went, holy fuck, what's going on? Throws the SUV in reverse. They back up. They do what's called a J turn. Picture a J. And they drive off. And they actually end up just driving off to, 200 feet to the very next little store's parking lot. But as they're driving off, Mike Dunn gets out of his car and fires 4 more bullets into it. Actually, he fired 5, but 1 missed. What? You have fired 10 shots? And the worst you heard was fuck you? Okay. So that's the story. Now, and Rhonda, the girlfriend, she hears the gunshots, opens the door of the gas station. Mike looks at her and goes, get in the car. And she says, I don't remember if I said what, but again, he just says, get in the car. She gets in the car. She leaves the wine and her bag of chips sitting on the counter. They drive off. Okay. So, let's say you or me are Mike Dunn, and we just acted like a fucking idiot for 17 seconds. What do? So you're out of the danger. You've gotten yourself out. You're scared of that car, right? Well, they've driven away, but you got to get yourself away. Okay, I get that. So you pull your car over and you slide it in park and you call 911 and you go, holy fuck, you're not going to believe what just happened. But he didn't do that. They drove back to the hotel. He left his gun in the glove box. Whoever came up with that. Some automotive engineer was designing the interior of the car, and he's like, I got this place where we can put shit. And he looks at his wife, and he's like, what do we call it? And she said, I would put my gloves in there, because women used to always wear gloves when they rode in the car. And he said, oh, that's it, glove box. And now, 80 years later, we still call it a glove box. I don't know if they're 80 years or not. They get in the car. They drive back to the hotel. She's like, what happened? And he says, oh, these guys advanced on me. They threatened to kill me. Doesn't say anything about anything. They advanced on me. They scared me. I was in fear for my life. So they get back to the hotel. Remember, they got this puppy. So Rhonda goes in and changes her clothes. I assume she washed her face. You got to wash your face after you wear makeup all day. Ladies, you know that. Brian Caspian, you might not know that. But if you do, that's okay with us. Anyway, so Rhonda, what does Rhonda do? After she's washed her face and changed her clothes, she goes, they're on the 10th floor of the hotel. You know, every elevator level has like a little lobby area. She goes just out to that lobby area on their floor and sits right in the chair waiting for the police because she knows the police are coming. Her man just got in a car. Of course the cops are coming. So she sits there, and then the ding on the elevator happens, the doors open, and it's Mike and Charlie, the dog. So they sit down for a minute. They end up going back to the room. Very little talking. They do order a pizza. They claim that Rhonda's stomach was upset, so she thought food may help. Well, no. Here's me, who has lived with stomach problems since my choledochal cyst in 2002. When your stomach's upset, food doesn't help. Maybe a sip or two of ginger ale and a couple of saltines, but food doesn't help. Anyway, they order the food. They make 2 very stiff rum and cokes. And in the trial, Mike confirmed they were stiff. Rhonda passes out, go to sleep. Mike's up. He can't sleep. I understand. I probably couldn't sleep either had I done that. But at 1 o'clock in the morning, Mike sees he's looking at news. He's actively searching for information. That was his quote from the trial. 1 o'clock in the morning, he sees that Jordan Davis is dead. So what does he do then? He calls the cops, right? I mean, he should have called him at 7:45 after the shooting, but he didn't. Okay, but so now it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Call the cops, right? No, he didn't. He falls asleep, according to him, around 5. They get up at 7. He goes, takes a shower. No words spoken between them. Her mind is on their next adventure. They're headed to St. Augustine from here. The news is on. She makes a comment that they sleep with the television on. No television in my bedroom. Won't happen. And that's not a compromise with me. You want to watch TV to fall asleep? You're going to put it on your phone and put an earplug in. Nope. My bedroom, I sleep with a mask. Need dark, quiet. They fall asleep with the TV on, so when she wakes up in the morning, the TV's still on. The news comes on about a shooting at the gas station. Loud music, 1 dead. Mike, Mike, Mike. And he's standing in the bathroom. Apparently like this, with his arms on the door. He's like, I know. Do you remember the earthquake in San Francisco? 1994, I think. Well, apparently some dude was standing in his shower as the earthquake happens. He realizes what's happening. So he jumps out of the shower, grabs his dog, and he stands in a door frame, because that's what you're supposed to happen in an earthquake. Because this is a more solid part right here. He's holding his dog, stark naked, dripping on the dog, holding the dog. Earthquake happens. And then, did that work? Okay, earthquake happens. Earthquake stops. He takes a deep breath. Oh, I'm alive. And he said, the whole time, all I could think about was the house was going to collapse on top of us, and my wife was going to find me naked on top of my dog. Okay, anyway, back to the bathroom. So I'm like, yeah, I know. Well, Rhonda looks at him, and she just says, we have to go home. And she tells the police that, admittedly, her first thoughts were, we have committed a crime. She expected to be arrested. Let's get her dog taken care of. Okay, well, I think that's kind of bullshit too. I'm going to link below Monsters. He covers this case. I will link the JCS one also. But Monsters says a lot of things that annoy me. He talks about something with religion once. He's like, and that's why religion is ruining the world. What? But in this case, he's like, my dog, we had a lot of dogs. And they were all spoiled. Well, our dogs are spoiled. I kind of understand that she didn't know what to do with her dog. I kind of get that. I still feel like I would have called the cops and said, hey, I'm here. I'm not hiding. I have a puppy, though, and I need to take care of my puppy. And I don't want to go to jail with my puppy out and you send him to the shelter. Can you help me out? Honesty's always the best. But they don't. They drive 2.5 hours home. They barely speak on the way home. They get home. Mike claims that the whole plan was to get home and go next door to his neighbor, who is a law enforcement officer, and talk to him about how to deal with it. That's the plan. They're driving home and they're going right to Ken Lescalet's house. Okay, but Mike actually says, we get home, we unpacked our bags. You unpacked your bags? Okay, well, so then getting to talk to Ken Lescalet wasn't that much of a priority because you unpacked your bags. However, before he got to do any of that, call Ken Lescalet. Oh, on a side note, Ken Lescalet had called him an hour earlier to see if he and Mike and Rhonda could go out for the night. And Mike didn't say, Ken, we can't, but I need to talk to you. I'm on my way home right now. I need to talk to you. He said, no, Ken, we can't go out tonight. Rhonda's not feeling well. Click. I think that if nobody ever got this man's tag, he was never going to tell anybody. I don't think he was going home to tell Ken Lescalet. I think he was hoping that he had gotten away with it and he was going to tell Rhonda to shut up. And I half wonder if Rhonda would have. And unfortunately, I kind of think she would have, because it just doesn't make sense. You don't call the police within 40 seconds of hearing the broadcast on the news that someone died as a result of an incident you were involved in. But, okay. Mike's mistakes. He didn't call the police. That was it. They arrested him for first-degree murder. They charged him with 3 counts of attempted murder. He was convicted of all of it. He absolutely should have been. 100%. I have zero empathy. Had he called the police, he still would have been charged with a crime. But I'm going to guess he probably would have been charged with manslaughter. And the max, well, I think in Florida, the max for manslaughter is 30 years. So he spent 15 if he'd gotten the max. Now he's in life in prison without parole. And the government made it even worse. They stuck him in Oregon while his whole family lives in Florida. So I think that's kind of shitty. The guy may be a piece of shit, but allow his family a chance to come visit him once or twice a year. Okay, so now here's the worst part of this whole story. Well, the worst part is Jordan Davis died. He was 17 years old, junior in high school, and did nothing wrong. But if you don't like politics, turn it off. There's lots of pictures with Jordan Davis's parents with Nancy Pelosi and Al Sharpton. What? So you're Democrats? You're supporting the party who is continuing to keep black people needing you? I'll never understand any black person who supports the Democrats. Not at all. You know, the Ku Klux Klan were all Democrats. You know, all these statues they want removed, Stonewall Jackson and that. You know why they need them removed? Because they were also Democrats. And they're worried that someday someone might figure out and say, hey, it's Democrats that have always been trying to stifle your rights. What's going on right now? Do you have a right to go on an airplane without a mask? Well, you do have that right, but Democrats are stifling that. We just spent 2 years with this fucking scam. Unfortunately, I'm going to guess most of you are vaccinated. 59% of the country is vaccinated. I am not. If you're vaccinated, you have a 90% higher chance of dying from COVID than I do. The government, they don't like us. They're trying to fuck us. Biden closed the Keystone Pipeline down on day 1 for a reason. Okay, I need to start a political channel. If you're still watching right now, I'm completely shocked. God bless you. I appreciate it. God bless America. Hit like, hit subscribe. Thank you.